What's up guys, it's Light Spiral here, and today I'm going to be doing something that is not really that common, but I feel like it could be, maybe it could slash should be more common than it actually is, and that's actually using Verdehile in a Necropolis B10 run. So I have a consistent Necro B10 team, and my normal team I don't use Verd in it, but I have experimented with Verd back when I was brand new to Necro to try and see if it can make my success rate better, because this is my current team. Now, I have a 5-star panda and I have a 6-star panda, but my 6-star panda is not ruined for Necro, it's ruined for PvP, but I'm going to switch the runes pretty soon and make this a raid panda. And then my 5-star panda is the one that's ruined for Necro. So, that's why I have my 5-star panda instead of my 6-star, but that's off topic. What I was going to show in this video is how you can actually use Verd in Necro B10, and the reason I ever thought to use them in the first place is because when I first started doing Necro, one of the main things I had trouble with was not the boss stage. Like, this is my first ever team, this is the team I still use, but this team, since all these guys are on such low speed, because they're all ruined for Necro, like he's 110 and 140-ish, a little under, 120-ish, 133, and 135, so they're all they're all below 140, and so they're all really low speed. And Verd has a multi-hit, so he does that for the boss stage, but his passive doesn't work in the boss stage, and his second skill is basically useless in the boss stage. But what I did is, you can take this team here, and you can either replace Verd with Adrian, the panda, or in my case Smokey, but for the sake of this I'll replace him with Smokey because I feel like Smokey is probably the least common out of all these guys here, and so I'll find my panda somewhere right there. And so this team would make it way more successful in the first 4 stages, and the boss stage was still successful, but it was much slower to have Verd instead of Smokey, because Smokey was A, ruined for damage, B, does a bunch of multi-hits, and C, has a first skill slow. Now, I'll let you guys see this run, but so you guys know what Verd does. I used his leader skill, but in reality it probably would have been smarter if I would have used the panda's leader skill, because it's defense, which is just probably going to be more useful than the speed, because without the speed leader skill we're going to be able to pass these first 4 stages, and the leader skill does nothing once we get to the boss fight, or basically nothing. And so but it doesn't do basically nothing. It'll cap out all my guys to 130 speed if any of them aren't on 130 speed already after my 15% speed tower. So like my Qua might get a little tiny bit of bonus from this, but I think that's going to be it. And so for the reason that I liked the thought of Verd is in Necro is you're going to move into Necro after Dragons, or you might do something in between, like you might go into raids, or you might go into, I don't know, PvP or TOA hard, or TOA normal, whatever it may be, but you're going to do Dragons before you do Necro. And many people use Verd in Dragons, and for the most part anyone who doesn't use Verd in Dragons B10 doesn't use him in Dragons B10 just because they don't have him. And so if you don't have him, for the most part, I don't assume a lot of people that don't have him are watching this video, but if you still are watching this video just because you thought it sounded cool, then that's fine by me, I'm not going to complain. But as you can see here, he makes this run so much, well, I mean, you can't really see. I'll show you the run without Verd to show you how much less smooth this run is without Verd in the first 4 stages. But you do not, what I was saying when I think I got off track, the reason I was bringing up the Dragons B10 thing was because A, you already have him built, so it's not another unit you need to build just for the purpose of Necro, and B, need to rune him different. You can still use your Dragon's Verd. I have this Verd runed for dragons. He's on like, I don't know, Revenge Blade Energy or something. Revenge Blade Guard, I don't remember. And he's on like speed, crit rate, HP, but so he has like 200 speed, which is not a Necro build at all, because Necro builds are violent revenge with very low speed, like under 130 speed, because of, which passive is it? Geez. This passive. This passive makes it so anything above 130 speed is useless, and so the fast Verd will do all you need him to do in the first stage, because the only reason Verd is in this team is to make the first stages more successful, because the boss stage is already pretty easy if you built a team properly for Necro. And so, you know, what is Verd doing in this boss stage? Nothing, because I have him on a Dragon's build, so he's not doing damage to the boss, he's not giving me attack bar, and he's only providing 2 hits, so it's really not very good. But it's still going to work, and the run's just going to be slow. The boss stage is just going to go by slower than the boss stage would with Smokey. But, so that's why I thought it was really cool to use Verd in this team. And this team right here, it gets not completely farmable. Adrian, Hua, and Verd, so 3 out of the 5 units aren't farmable, but it's a pretty standard Necro team. A ton of people use Colleen in Necro, a ton of people use Adrian, a ton of people use Hua, a decent amount of people use the Panda, and next to no one uses Verd, but Verd definitely does work in this situation. So there you go, we just won. Let's see what the time was. 3:55. That's actually not bad for my Necro runs. You know, it's faster with Smokey. But if you don't want to build the other unit, you can just use Verd from your Dragons team, and a lot of people are also going to be using Hua from their Dragons team too, so that's kind of nice. So I'll just show you my runes just for those that you want to know, and just to re-show you that this is not a Necro Verd, this is a Dragons Verd. It has, whatever, 196 speed, no attack, very minimal crit damage, and it's on good HP and okay defense, I guess. I don't have any skill ups on him. I don't recommend. Oh, I recommend you get skill ups, but just make sure not to max this 3rd skill. Don't bother with Devil Mons on him, because the only thing you get for skill ups is damage and the cooltime turn, but you don't want the cooltime turn because of the fact that it only attacks once and this attacks twice. Most of you probably already know that. And then, yeah, these are the runes. I have Revenge Blade Guard with this rune on speed, with crit rate, and HP. So obviously this is not a Necro build. A Necro build for Verd would be like attack, crit damage, attack with 100 crit rate. Because if you don't need speed or HP, you can easily get 100 crit rate and 100 crit and have crit damage on slot 4. And if you can't, you can just do attack, crit rate attack. It's not a big deal. But it's a Dragon's Verd. I've said that plenty of times. And so that's kind of all I wanted to say about Verd in Dragons B10, and how I do think that if your problem with Dragons is the first 4 stages, definitely try and give Verd giving Verd a go. Probably don't use his if you have a HP or an attack or a crit rate or anything other than speed leader skill, you should probably just use that leader skill instead of the speed leader skill. But if you want, you can try it with the speed leader skill or whatever. If any of you guys want help or want me to make a video on Necro B10, be sure to tell me in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to make a video explaining the mechanics of Necro and how to do it, because I know it's like the last dungeon in the game, and when you use your Giants team, it doesn't even come close to working in Necro, but I find that Necro is actually one of the easiest dungeons, or like one of the easiest things in the game. You know, so like I think it's easier than like TOA, it's easier than Raid, it's easier than Dragons and Giants, conceptually, to find a team that works. And then the only thing you need to really do to make it work is you got to get the runes. So that's where it's not easy to get the runes for the guys, but conceptually it's really easy once you know what you're doing. But so yeah, be sure to tell me in the comments if you want me to explain Necro or show you how to make a Necro team or whatever. But that's all I have for today though, guys. May the best year today's be the worst year tomorrow's.